In the remote mountains above Bergen, Norway, a body was discovered in November 1970, burned, unrecognizable, and stripped of all identity. She carried no name, no past, only a collection of coded notes, multiple passports, and the signs of a life spent moving in shadows. Who was she? Where did she come from? And why did her life end here, in the frozen silence of Isdal Valley? Investigators quickly realized this was no ordinary death. Every detail, the meticulous destruction of her identity, the international travel, the cryptic possessions, suggested someone living a life of secrecy. Yet the answer to her story remained just out of reach. Tonight, we retrace the footsteps of the woman who became a ghost in Norway's mountains, a mystery that has haunted journalists, investigators, and amateur sleuths for decades. This is the story of the Isdal Woman. In the cold, remote hills above Bergen, Norway, the discovery of a charred body in November 1970 shocked a small town and captivated the nation. The Isdal Valley, remote and snow-draped, offered no easy access. It was a place hikers avoided in winter, where the wind cut through the trees like steel. When the body was found, the local authorities immediately realized this was no ordinary accident. The woman's identity was obliterated. Her fingerprints and dental records offered nothing. All clothing labels had been meticulously cut out, erasing the smallest clue to her origin. Whoever she was, she had gone to great lengths to vanish from the world. Yet here she lay, vulnerable, burned, and silent. The police quickly noted other disturbing details. Her possessions were strange: coded notes, multiple passports with different identities, cosmetics from several countries, and clothing that did not match Norwegian fashion. She had traveled extensively, yet there was no record of her staying long anywhere. Witnesses described a woman moving alone, polite but reserved, often seen in hotels, trains, and cafes across Norway, sometimes using aliases. She appeared cautious, but strangely fearless, navigating a Europe still under the shadow of the Cold War. Her life was a labyrinth, and her death only deepened the enigma. Autopsy reports revealed high doses of sleeping pills and alcohol in her system. She had likely ingested them voluntarily, yet the extent of her burns suggested they had not killed her. The fire did. There were traces of accelerants. Someone had ensured her body would be destroyed beyond recognition. The scene was remote but precise. The fire had been controlled, suggesting calculation rather than chaos. The valley itself offered isolation, yet no evidence indicated a struggle at the exact site. The possibility of abduction and transport was real. Who had brought her here? Who had killed her? And why? As investigators traced her movements, they encountered a trail of half-answers. She had checked into hotels in Bergen, Stavanger, Oslo, and even across Europe, France, Germany, Belgium, Switzerland, always alone, always leaving before anyone could remember her clearly. She had photographs, diaries, and coded notes that suggested espionage, yet nothing confirmed it. No organization claimed her. No family came forward. Her life was a shadow, her death a ghostly footprint in the snow. The case became a blend of police work and detective fiction, a story too intricate for its time. Public fascination grew. Newspapers called her the Isdal Woman, focusing on the mystery rather than the tragedy. Amateur sleuths and professional investigators debated her identity, speculated on her occupation, and tried to piece together her final days. Was she a spy, a fugitive, someone hiding from lovers, governments, or herself? The possibilities multiplied, each plausible, each unprovable. Yet even in the first weeks, one thing was clear. This was not just a death, it was a statement. Every detail,
The burned body, the erased identity, the foreign belongings, the careful travel suggested someone had lived carefully, someone had planned meticulously, and someone had died with secrets intact.
The months following the discovery only deepened the mystery. Police interviewed locals and travelers, examined hotels, and cross-checked passports and airline records. Every lead seemed to fracture under scrutiny. Witnesses remembered different descriptions. Items in her suitcase did not match known brands. Her coded notes resisted decryption. Investigators suspected espionage, but Norway in 1970 was far from a Cold War hotspot. If she was a spy, she had evaded even the most thorough investigations. Some notes suggested personal connections, names, places, and numbers arranged in a ciphered pattern. Others hinted at travel plans never realized. She had been seen in restaurants, bookstores, and train stations, blending into everyday life, a woman who was everywhere and nowhere. She avoided the gaze of locals, carefully choosing when to reveal herself. And yet, in Isdal Valley, she had been vulnerable, exposed. Why here, and why now? Theories abounded. Some suggested she was a double agent, caught between powers too large to control. Others believed she had been running from someone dangerous, a lover, a criminal network, or a secret past. A few speculated a personal tragedy had led her to wander Europe anonymously, living a life of meticulous self-erasure until death finally caught up. But all remained speculation. No theory could reconcile the meticulous travel, the false identities, the careful destruction of her body, and the impossibility of discovering her true identity. Modern investigators have revisited the case repeatedly. DNA analysis, facial reconstruction, and international archives have all been examined. Even today, potential matches are inconclusive. Her identity remains unknown. Her story exists as fragments, photographs, hotel records, newspaper clippings, and cryptic notes. Each fragment provides a glimpse into a life of calculated mystery, a life lived on the edge of discovery, and a death that amplified the questions rather than answering them. The Isdal Woman is more than a cold case. She's a symbol of the unknowable, of the dangerous freedom of a life lived in shadows, and of the enduring human fascination with mystery. Her story reminds us that not all deaths are meant to be understood, not all lives are meant to be traced, and not all questions have answers. In the forests and mountains of Norway, the silence of Isdal keeps her secrets intact. The coded notes, the passports, the burned body, all are fragments of a puzzle the world has yet to solve. Even decades later, the mountains whisper her story. Travelers passing through Isdal speak in hushed tones of a woman who moved like a ghost, whose identity was stolen by circumstance, mystery, and perhaps design. The case continues to captivate journalists, investigators, and the public alike because it defies resolution, defies expectation, and reminds us of the fragile boundary between presence and absence, life and legend.